The president was at the time responding to a question posed to him by Mr. Chabrol about a voters list for the next election of the country.
First of all, before you get to a voters list, you have to have a system that the population have trust in. You can't have a system where there's very little trust in that system. And the trust in the Secretariat at Gecom has been eroded significantly.
While the president has cast doubt on the Secretariat, referring to the Guyana Elections Commission, he also reminded that the system, Gecom Secretariat, is the body responsible for distributing the end product. He posited that the Secretariat is responsible for registering the population from which the voters list will be extracted. He again stressed the need to fix the system. At that point, the president of the Press Association, Ms. Ragubeer, questioned the president about whether he was perhaps overreaching his authority.
It is not overreaching. It is not. We have to fix it. It can never be overreaching when you want to protect democracy and the will of the people.
But you are a partisan beneficiary of that very system.
I am not a beneficiary.
No, I'm talking about.
No. Let me just make this very clear. This government is not a beneficiary of any system. This government is a beneficiary of the will of the people.
Leading up to the 2020 elections, President David Granger, along with several APNU AFC coalition members, had been insisting for a new voters list before proceeding with the election, as they had claimed that the voters list was bloated with names of persons who are deceased or who have migrated. Prior to the election and before his appointment was deemed unconstitutional by the Caribbean Court of Justice, former Gecom chairman Justice James Patterson, retired, had commenced house-to-house registration. The process was halted when Justice Claudette Singh was appointed the new chair of the body. Meanwhile, the president claimed that his government wants the system to be fixed, while further positing that the system tried to take away democracy by subverting the will of the people.
The system tried to take away the will of the people. The system tried to derail democracy. The system tried and tested our collective conviction to democracy. The system destroyed Guyana's credibility internationally. That is what the system did, and that is why we have to fix the system.
Mr. Ali further posited that in trying to fix the system, an international commission of inquiry may be needed to ascertain the loopholes that exist and make recommendations on the way forward.
That is why we said we have to get an international COI to go in there independently, bringing to us and highlighting to us what occurred, where the weaknesses are, and where the holes were.
Speaking further to the credibility of the Commission of Inquiry, Mr. Ali stated,
The COI will bring out its recommendations. Those recommendations, we have to do reforms in fixing the system, and this has to be done, as you know, all stakeholders will have to agree. But at least it is not the president who will be going and do the COI. It's an independent analysis. So if the system has to be fixed, the system has to be informed as to what the weaknesses are.
Wendell Badrie for the HGP Nightly News.